Hello and welcome to DC Elseworlds. Sorry. Hello and welcome to Elseworlds, a DC fan podcast. My name is Jordan. With me, as always, is Chris. How are you today, Chris?
I am doing very well. Very excited to talk some DC football.
Yeah. So we're going to be drafting, not really drafting. Each player, each person is picking all 11 positions on offense and a couple on defense here for what you would make a team, a football team out of DC heroes and villains. We're going to give you our team names, our owners, our coaches. So we have those as well. And then then we have the whole roster. So, um, all right. So I guess, I don't know if you want to jump right into it, Christy. Let's do this first. Let's give me your team name and maybe your let's do team name and then why you named them that. Let's do that.
All right. Well, I don't think it's going to be much of a surprise when you hear, but Central City Speedsters. It's a little on the nose. Central City is known for being the home of the Flash, Barry Allen. Keystone City's right next there. You got Wally there, so you know the Flash family is always in town, and it's a fast city. I mean, that's pretty much obvious.
I have the Star City Marksmen. So let's share these logos for the viewers. So we got the Central City Speedsters and Star City Marksmen. I named them that based off of Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, and I have a reason for that because I'm going to share the owner of my team right now. The owner of my team is Oliver Queen,
Nice. It
billionaire owner.
makes a lot of sense with all that scar tissue on his body. He might not want to get onto the gridiron. Um, and that's the exact reason my owner is staying on the sidelines. Bruce Wayne owns the Central City Speedsters, helping his friend Barry out.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, he's got the money. He's going to be well funded, and he's, you know, he's got a GM that's going to take care of things. You want to know my GM?
Sure.
Martian Manhunter himself, John Jones, is the general manager. I think he is a wise leader. I think he is very good at understanding people and what they do best. You always see him in the Watchtower in the Justice League cartoons for a damn reason. He is a good man to have behind the wheel.
Well, I didn't think of a GM, but I'll say that this is my coach and GM. All right. I have Bruce Wayne. I know what you're thinking of. Billionaire? Why is he on the... He's a tactical genius. If you give him prep time, he's going to figure out a way to beat your football team. And that's who I have coaching. He's going to be drawing up some good plays.
Yeah, see, I was just thinking I was going to be the coach. Now I got to come up with a fictional coach. I was like, I got a GM and an owner. Yeah, for my head coach for this, give me John Stewart, Green Lantern. He's smart, tactile. He is a leader, players coach. People love him. You give me, he's a no nonsense guy. He's not as silly as some of the other lanterns. He's ready to come in there and make you pack your lunch because you're going to be working.
All right, so I'm going to go with my quarterback first here. I'm going to start with the offense. And you mentioned that he might not see the field, but this billionaire owner is putting himself as quarterback here. I have Oliver Queen. I have that because of his ability. Now, of course, nobody will know that it's Oliver Queen. It's going to be Green Arrow being the quarterback. So it's not like this weird thing of like he's an owner and a player. But as Green Arrow, he is an excellent marksman. He can hit anything. So I'm going to have him drop in dimes to his receiver's hands from the pocket. I have Oliver Queen / Green Arrow.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. I like that, with the archery, he's got great anticipation. He's all about, keeping himself steady and in the moment. I love that pick for you. Natural born leader. That's why Team Arrow is always just cohesive and never fighting at all. That's why that's why I'm gonna take the best leader in the Arrowverse. I'm gonna take Barry Allen as my quarterback, the Flash. Think about it. Now everyone focuses on arm strength for here, but this guy can throw lightning. No one's gonna be able to catch my quarterback. Student body left can change the entire timeline. I'm telling you, all reality can be altered. You just get him going off the edge, and no one's catching him right down the middle. It's shake and bake. No one's catching him, and this guy can throw lightning. I'm telling you, he's a leader. He's smart. I don't think there's a smarter guy on my team. He is the leader and the most dynamic player. Touches the ball every single play, a la Lamar Jackson.
Nice. I will say I have a running back named Flash, but it's Wally West. I have Wally West Flash because he is faster than Barry Allen. So I do have Wally West Flash in my running back. Think about it this way. Green Arrow drops back, hands it off to Flash. He's gone. You're not catching him. He's gone. I was originally thinking I was going to go with Superman as my quarterback, arm strength and speed, but then I pivoted and started to try to do Green Arrow instead. But I have as my running back Wally West Flash.
I don't hate it because I'm copying this. See, I was gonna have a 2 flash backfield. This is my plan the whole time. I don't know how he's gonna do double duty here, but Wally West is my Flash. Strictly speed speaking, yes, you're right. He is the fastest Flash. He is the most dynamic Flash. I'm putting him at running back and I'm letting him go. I'm just letting, you have the mesh point between Barry Allen and Wally West. The entire defense is wondering who has the ball. They're not going to be able to see through the lightning, man. I'm telling you. That mesh point is going to be deadly, and you're never going to know which one has the ball. And if you are just a half second off, he's gone for the touchdown. Easy.
Wait until you get to the defense, all right? Because I've got some solutions here, all right?
All right. You better have some solutions because I got the speed.
I'm going to tell you my wide receiver set. That's what I'm going with here, okay? Spreading it out. I've got elongated man, Ralph Dibney.
I love it.
Stretch and reach for those wonderful passes.
Catch radius. I love it.
Dodging. He can stretch for the touchdown when he's getting tackled. He is unstoppable. Elongated man. My other wide receivers, I have Michael John Carter. Used to play football in the 25th century, but I got Booster Gold here he used to be a quarterback, but I have him playing receiver. As Booster Gold, so he'll have his jetpack on. He can make some big catches if he needs to. And my third wide receiver set, I have Hal Jordan's Green Lantern, teaming up with the rest of my players here. He can use his ring to catch the ball, or he can fly and catch the ball. He's perfect. He's got like a good build, I think, Hal Jordan. So yeah, I'm thinking that's a good wide receiver set I have there.
All right, so I only got 2 receivers on my roster here because we're just doing starting 11. The first one. Now you might say, this is football. It's not a girls' game. This girl can play. Give me Kara Zor-El. You tell me that a Kryptonian with that kind of speed on the outside can't make Tyreek Hill look slow. I'm telling you, it's time to go. Kara Zor-El with great catch radius, toughness, leadership. She's the hopeful one that is, just going to cut through all of the defense. I'm telling you, Kara Zor-El, wide receiver 1. And then I'm going to go Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle, as my other receiver because he can make anything. Kaji Da's ready with anything he wants to get him that football. So, whatever he's got to do, Kaji Da is going to supply him with the tools to make the plays. Jerry Rice used to use Stickum, and it didn't matter because back then it doesn't matter. You know what? Kaji Da's got Stickum times 10. So give me Jaime Reyes and Cara Zarel as my top two receivers. If we start going into bench, maybe I'll get a little more creative. I thought about having John Stewart take the field himself as Green Lantern, but I don't want to copy you. I already got Wally West. You copied me there because I decided that a week ago. Give me Jaime Reyes and Cara Zarel. Stretch the defense. The only thing I'm worried about with Blue Beetle is I don't think he's as fast. But you know what? I trust him. I trust Jaime.
Nice. I'll give you my. I got one tight end. All right, playing here, but I got Clark Kent Superman as my tight end. So he's big, he's strong, he can be a blocking tight end, but he can also get away and catch a ball. He's got speed. So that's who I'm going with here. I thought this was the best position to utilize them in. If you need them to block, if they're not Kryptonians or have kryptonite on this side, he's blocking them. And then he can also make that run and make a great catch from Green Arrow.
You could ask Ron this. We talked about this last week. You could ask him, who is Chris's two tight ends? Because I'm doing a 12 personnel, two tight ends, one back. And he'll tell you it was Superman. Superman was always going to be my tight end. You're going to own the middle of the field. No one's going to be able to bring him down. He's got the best catch radius in the game. He can go to the moon if he has to. And I'm telling you this right now. This is Gronkowski if he was a superhero. Like, you know, this isn't fair. So this is next level. I mean, you've got next level size, strength, speed. And I thought about putting him a quarterback. But you know what? Barry Allen's the most dynamic player on the field. Superman's probably the second slowest guy on this team, with Wally West being the fastest bear. It's a good top three with speed. But I'm telling you this right now.
Cara's fast too. So, I mean, they're on super speed.
The power that I'm going to get on the run game with Superman and be able to just annihilate people over the middle of the field. I mean, there's no safety that can dominate Clark Kent.
We'll see. But I've got little teases there for what I've got coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll share my O-line here.
Okay.
All right. I'll give you my two guards. I got Lobo and Aquaman, the Jason Momoa set here. I've got them being left guard and right guard here. I think Lobo's pretty strong. Aquaman can be pretty strong, but I wanted them to be able to guard Green Arrow here. So that's who I have for my guards. Do you want me to go through my whole line, or do you want to share guards?
I wanted to share my second tight end because I had two tight ends. I was like, so King of Atlantis, Aquaman, tight end. Look, this is if Superman's my Gronk, and I hate to let's not put any of the controversy in here. If Superman's my Gronk, I want to go with that old Patriots two tight end thing that was so dominant. This one's a hero instead of a murderer. But Aquaman is my Aaron Hernandez. He is my everything at tight end. He can do it all. And I'm telling you this right now, that combination of tight ends with different skill sets, I can line Aquaman up in the backfield. He can block. I can line quick passes to him, and then Gronk is just that beast. The Superman's my Gronk. So that's what I'm modeling this after. Aquaman, King of the Sea, is going to be king of the post route. I'm telling you, it's just not going to be fair.
All right, do you want to share your guards then?
All right, so my two guards are going to be Gorilla Grodd and Bane, okay? Look, you need to be able to have lateral movement. You need to have quick feet. I think Grodd's got that and then some. I think Bane is one of those guys that is just a big, bad beast. He's, this physically superior to pretty much everybody on the field who doesn't have superpowers. And he's so strong, he can break the backs. He can break the backs of bats. I'm telling you, I'm ready for Bane to be there. And my tackles. You want my tackles, or you want to go your tackles?
No, you can share yours. Yeah.
All right. So my left tackle, the guy who's lining up on the left, King Shark. I'm telling you this right now. King Shark is going to be an absolute beast. He's not going to let anything get by him. These tiny little pass rushers, these linebackers, they're num nums. It's over. It's absolutely over for that. And then, you know, my center has to be really smart, and I want my center to be able to move. So he doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest, baddest thing in the world. He has to be powerful. So I'm putting Cyborg as my center because I'm like, I need this guy to be able to move. I need this guy to be able to be a lead blocker for Barry and Wally up the middle, and he packs a cannon. So it's pretty good there. And then guard, my other guard or my other tackle, Solomon Grundy. Bit of character issues, but you know what? You get the right magic on him, and that man is not going down. That man is going to push some people into the dirt. He was born on a Monday, and he beat your butt on a Tuesday.
We got some overlap here because my right tackle is Cyborg. Just his big beefy frame. I have Cyborg strength. My left tackle, I have Salivar, the gorilla.
I see. I didn't want to double down. I thought about him because of the size. I got Grodd though.
My center, I have another guy that's very smart. He's got the wisdom of Solomon. I've got Shazam.
I needed him for defense, though. I needed him on the other side of the ball.
All right. So real quick, I'm just going to recap my offense before we move over to defense. But I've got Oliver Queen at quarterback, Elongated Man, Booster Gold, and Hal Jordan Green Lantern as my wide receivers. I got Wally West, Flash as a running back, Clark Kent Superman as a tight end. My O-line is Lobo, Aquaman, Cyborg, Solivar, and Shazam.
Nice. Hey, look, you're going to have a lot of power, a lot of speed. It's a good offense. And, I really like Oliver leading that. So I got you there. So my wide receivers are Cara Zor-El and Jaime Reyes. My tight ends are Superman and Aquaman. And then up front, I got Cyborg as the anchor of my offensive line at center. I've got Gorilla Grodd, Bane, Solomon Grundy, and King Shark along the offensive line with Cyborg. And then I got Barry Allen Flash and Wally West Flash. We're going to have the most dynamic players in the backfield, and we're going to have speed on the outside, and we're going to have two powerful tight ends. So you got so much power on that offensive line, and those tight ends maximize that power. I mean, good luck, man. Good luck on defense stopping these. So you want to get into your defense here?
Yeah, I'll get into my defense here.
Okay.
So here's my defense. Now I only picked a middle linebacker, one outside linebacker, a free safety, strong safety, and two cornerbacks. That's all I picked. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I have, let's go with my outside linebacker. I have Gorilla Grodd going after the sacks here. I feel like him terrorizing the offensive line, trying to get to the quarterback. I think that is a pretty strong, if you're reading New 52, deadly proposition having Gorilla Grodd on defense.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you one here. My Mike Backer, because I already told you I needed him for defense. Billy Batson, Shazam, is going to be the leader of this defense. The Mike Backer. I got Superman on offense putting the points up. So I need that big bad beast, with childlike enthusiasm to run sideline to sideline. I want Zachary Levi levels of insanity, sideline to sideline, and at safety, I have Jay Garrick Flash. He's a little older, he's a little wiser. He sits back there and he sees it all. He's all about perspective. He's all about wisdom. He reads the offense, and he is the fastest one to the football. He's the last line of defense. Jay Garrick sitting up there as a true middle of the field safety, playing center field, man. So he's my Ed Reed.
Gonna say old too, right? Just like Ed Reed. Is he gonna
Look,
start pitching it backwards all the time when he starts getting tackled after an interception?
no, see, here's the thing: Shazam is gonna put on his Ray Lewis, and Jay Garrick will pitch it to Shazam, and it'll be perfect. If you can't tell, this is a Ravens-oriented football podcast.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to do when I was creating my defense, I kind of thought, how would I stop my offense? It's kind of what I started thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I know they wouldn't actually play against each, but have to be entertaining. Plus, they're going to have some of the same players. Think about that. And my free safety that I have playing is Eobard Thawne Reverse Flash. Okay, so he can be that. He can play deep. He can. If Barry somehow gets through them, he hates Barry. That's why I picked him too. He's gonna knock out of him if you're Barry. Anybody, and he can slow time down and run just as fast. So I think I had to have some sort of safety back there, no pun intended, of of him being able to stop it. And I'll share my strong safety as well. I have Godspeed back there.
All right.
Just in case if Clark Kent gets out there, right? Like I need some speed more than just reverse flash. So I threw out Godspeed as well.
You see, we both have two speedsters in the secondary, but I got Bart Impulse at corner.
See, he's too young. He's too impulsive. I couldn't
no, I need that fast twitch guy. I need that guy who's just going to believe what he sees and goes. I need that guy who's going to make 100%. You make a mistake at 100%, you're going to learn on the job. I'm feeling it. Give me Impulse as that quick twitch guy on the outside. Look at the receivers I got to cover. I need speeds, and I can't necessarily trust Eobard Thawne. So, okay, I can't trust Eobard Thawne. So, my edge rusher is evil himself. You got to deal with Darkseid coming at you.
Oh, okay.
I got him as my edge rusher because look, you got Darkseid coming at you. I don't care what you're doing, and you know what? You know who's coming on the other side? You know who's coming? Steppenwolf is coming on the other side. So we are preparing the Armada, and we're going to do this the mean and dirty way. We're going to get down in those trenches, and we're going to hit some people.
Yeah, I have a middle linebacker. I have Bane. I have Bane getting after it, making some, tackles there. All hyped up on Venom is what I have Bane doing. And then I'll end it with this. I have two cornerbacks here. And like I said, I've based this off of my team as well. So who goes with Elongated Man? Plastic Man. All right. So I needed another stretchy guy on defense that might be able to make some picks as the ball is coming over to him. Maybe outstretch Elongated Man when they're practicing and stuff, but it's going to make him better. And then my other cornerback here that I have is somebody that's pretty strong. She's a strength of a, Amazonian woman, and she has a lasso of, she can grab that ball out of the sky, or she'll tackle you and knock you out. I got Wonder Woman here.
Yeah, I got her too, but I got her at strong safety. She's that enforcer. She's the enforcer of justice. She's that Cam Chancellor. She's that Bernard Pollard. She's that, I hate to say it, that Troy Polamalu kind of a guy who's just going to come and wreck your entire existence. Wonder Woman's coming with the sword. She's coming with the lasso. She's ready to get anything on in the true honor of a battle. She's ready to do damage. So Wonder Woman is going to be the scariest strong safety you ever saw. And, I'm going to, my general manager is going to see the field because John Jones is going to be corner. So we're going to have Impulse for the speed, and then going to have Martian Manhunter, who's everything. And he's just going to, you're not even going to see him. And he's just going to jump routes. He's going to be invisible. And he's going to jump routes. It's too good.
Do you have any other players? Because I've spilled all of mine now.
I kind of So you said we were going light on the defense, so that's kind of all I did.
Okay. All right. There
Um,
you go.
but I will tell you that I used all of my big guys on the offensive line. So I was like, you know what? I need edge rushers. So I went to Steppenwolf and Darkside. You know, that's going to be my Rob Burnett and Michael McCrary at the team. Those are, you know, but yeah, I used most of my size on offense. I was like, damn, you know, you got a lot. You know, I think you could have every member of the Flash family on the football team. You know, Jesse Quick could be in there.
Yeah.
Every single one of anyone with speedster powers has a space on this football team, and you know, I think you're gonna have a. I think you got all you need.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me share this picture too. We got this great versus helmet here of our two teams. I think I win. By the way, I think
I don't know.
wipe the floor with yours. But
So so you think you win, by the way, but I think Barry Allen and Wally West in the backfield is impossible to stop.
yeah.
I
But
think.
here's what I also did because I was thinking about your team too, right?
Mm,
So my defense, I have 3 Flash villains, right? So they're going to be pissed off at your team as it is. So they're going to go after Gorilla Grodd for them, Godspeed, and Reverse
you know,
Flash.
I thought
The speed.
I thought about putting Flash villains on my defense, but I figured practice would just be a real problem. I thought it would just
practice would be like
you know, and you know, I was
Downey
really
game.
trying until we got to the defense. I was really trying to keep it mostly heroes, but you know, I was like, God, you know, when you go to the size, you got this big DC villains. You got Grodd, Bane, Darkseid, Steppenwolf. You're like, God, I'm running King Shark. I'm like, give me someone who's huge, who's actually a hero, because they got those big, powerful villains for these heroes to contend with. So I don't know that you win because I don't know that you can deal with the speed. Superman at tight end is a cheat code for both of us, but I got Carr on the outside too. So I'm telling you, this is interesting. But you know, we're gonna ask Ron off the air who he thinks wins there, because I'm telling you, I got.
We'll ask the listeners too. Listeners, viewers, who picked the better team? Let us know. I only have one villain on my offense, and that's Lobo. And then defense, I kind of loaded up with villains, and I only have one heroes. And that's because I felt like, you know, growing up with the Ravens teams we did, they were always seen as the villains, you know, those
I like it.
So I was like, oh, this is the perfect time to use the and like I said, I was thinking about my thing, like, okay, because I had Wally as a running back. So I was like, who would stop him? I was like, well, we would need some sort of speedster on defense to be able to slow time down and stop him as well, right?
Yeah.
You probably could go like Bizarro too.
Yeah. Bizarro. You know what? Bizarro is going to be my he's going to be my other inside linebacker, my 3-4 defense. Why not? So I got Bizarro, Shazam, and then edge of Darkseid and Steppenwolf. All right, I like that. That's you know, I did everything but put Granny Goodness in this, man.
Yeah.
I do got the evil. I do have some evil. But you know what? I needed that hero at safety. I needed Wonder Woman and Jay Garrick at the safety positions because I need someone I can trust as the last line of defense. I need someone who's not going to lose their head as the last line of defense.
Oh,
you know?
I want him to. I want Eobard to lose his mind when he sees.
But see, that's why I'm going to beat you. That's why I'm going to beat you, because he will do anything. So Barry's going to be like running right behind and just pitch it back to Superman. And Eobard's just going to tackle Barry because he wants to hit Barry. It's going to be perfect.
I have Godspeed, though, too. And Wonder Woman. Like, I got both of them back there, too. They'll be...
You telling me Clark can't take on Diana? I think he can. I think
that is
he is the only one. So put it to you this way: Clark versus Diana. You'll win some, you'll lose some. I think I went a little bit more. I think we we just saw you had to bring back Superman to give the Justice League a chance against Darkseid, and I got Darkseid.
Yeah, it's true. I wonder how much Darkseid's like gonna be, willing to play a game. You know what I'm saying?
All you have to tell him is the winner of the game gets control of the multiverse. All you got to tell him. You don't have to give it to him. You just have to tell him. You play a whole season, you get the multiverse. You deal with that problem later, and you got Superman and Flash and Wonder Woman to make sure that doesn't happen. It's God. This was a silly episode, and I like it.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's I guess what would we call this? Like to get a lot of these people on board, you'd have to call it some sort of crisis, right? For them to be all
Crisis on the Gridiron.
Yeah, Gridiron Crisis or Crisis
Gridiron
on
Crisis.
Yeah. That'll be the name of the episode.
Big Skin Mayhem. Crisis on the Gridiron.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the student body left on my team changes the whole timeline. I just say, hey, we're gonna pitch it out to the left, and everyone's just gonna build a wall, and Barry's gonna pick up top speed so fast. Your name's gonna be Jordina. I'd be like, wait a second, Jordan? Who's Jordan? I know Jordina.
Yeah, well, Reverse Flash is gonna go back in time and
he's gonna be so busy messing. He's gonna be so busy fixing all the stuff that my quarterback does, just because he ran a little too fast.
Yep.
Then we'll just focus on the game, and everybody will be like, ah.
So what I think is interesting is like how it's working. You have Bruce Wayne as an owner, right? And I have him as a coach. I am assuming these are alternate Earths, right?
Yeah.
That they're gonna come over and play in.
So it's gotta be alternate Earths, because otherwise, I mean, we have the same players on a lot of positions. So, but yeah, I'm thinking I'm calling the plays. I'm gonna take advantage of Barry Allen's speed. I didn't want to go too heavy. I didn't want to go Greg Roman in this, where you have all three tight ends, but I needed those two tight ends. I needed those two tight ends to dominate the middle of the field, because when you have speed at the quarterback position, as any Ravens fan knows, it gives you so much for the middle of the field, because those safeties and those linebackers are so tempted to cheat up and attack that quarterback any chance he steps forward and starts to take off. So you need someone over the middle of the field to make them pay for that. You're going to have to play zone coverage against my team. You can't play man-to-man. And you know what? When your linebackers and your safeties see a play, they have to break on the ball immediately, or else they already lost.
Mm-hmm.
So you force the defense to play a game that schematically it's going to be really hard for them.
I wish I could say we'll see, but there's no way for us to actually play.
There's no way to. There's no way. I guess we could get into Madden, create a bunch of players, and then have the speed maxed out for our quarterback and a quarterback and my running back, and see. I don't know, but I would say let's do player comps. Player comps for some of our players. You want to do that? Real players to our players. Because I kind of that's how I built this team.
Yeah, I didn't really think much of it. So if you want to share yours, because I think mine would just be me kind of reaching at this point. But. So
Barry is very much in the line of a Lamar Jackson-like quarterback, fast guy, speedster. I always call Lamar the Flash. It never caught on. I was hoping it would. But it's Action Jackson. But Wally West, he's a straight line speed runner. He's kind of your LaDainian Tomlinson. You got that shake and bake, but he doesn't have to, because he's already elusive and around you. Superman, I already said, is my Gronkowski. Uh, Arthur Curry, he's another tight end. You know what? I'm going to call him my Tony Gonzalez. Actually, my Shannon Sharp or Tony Gonzalez is that just fits. Um, Steppenwolf is very Miles Garrett. Cleveland Browns pass rusher, great length, uh, dominant dominant guy, but he plays for the Browns, so he'll never win. This feels right for Steppenwolf. He'll never truly be the guy. And Dark Side, you know, that's Terrell Suggs, man. He's the villain. He's ready to go. I know Terrell Suggs came out on the field with the Bane mask, but the true villain, the true guy who's going to put fear into your heart as quarterback would be Terrell Suggs. I already said Jay Garrick is basically my Ed Reed, my wise, true, uh, wonderful, uh, insightful safety. And Shazam, to me, he's just a Peter Bullware. He sees ball, he gets ball. He's going to play with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. And I'll tell you this right now: the guy that Impulse reminds me of is a faster Lardarius Webb. He's kind of a little Deion Sanders, but I don't think he has the discipline for that. So I'm going to call him a fast Lardarius Webb. So yeah, those are some player comps that I had going on here. And obviously, King Shark is my Jonathan Ogden. Bane, I mean, this guy is Steve Hutchinson of the Vikings, back in the day. Great guard. God, I love football. Sorry, I could go on for a while if I actually thought about this a little harder, but I don't think I'm going to do
that. Yeah, I didn't really think too much of real players. I'll more standard quarterback. He's not really gonna roll out and run.
He's your Brady. He's your Brady. There's nothing wrong with that.
More accurate than Brady, but yeah.
You think Oliver Queen is more accurate than a guy who has 7 Super Bowl rings? Screw it. I like Oliver Queen more. He can have it.
Yeah, Oliver Queen's gonna have like 10 by the end of this. But I mean, he's so accurate he can hit anything. So obviously, you're not gonna have a missed pass. But you have the rest I just kind of created around their power sets. I guess Clark Kent, Superman tight end, I was thinking along the lines of like, even like Dennis to block more, right? Like he blocking tight end, but he would also be able to make catches and be a receiver. But yeah. So that's only thought of when I wrote about those two, but the rest I did not really think of real player comps.
So I think it's interesting. Our strategies were so different. You were like, okay, how do I stop my offense? And I was like, what real players can I put into here? And then what
like who
characters would do that? So, it's interesting because superheroes on the football field would not be fair. It just we saw that in Superman and Lois. You got Jordan on the football field. It's like, dude, this guy is straight up dominating. It's not fair. I mean, he's got Kryptonian powers. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but so I was thinking that most of these players would be playing in a league that also has superpowers. So yeah.
That would be a fun league. I would watch that. I would tune in. It would be called the Superhero Football League or something like that. I'm all for it. Maybe you have a whole team of villains versus a whole team of heroes. Right, is what they could do. I don't know how deep that those rosters could get in that case. You might have to do 7-on-7 to make that work. I got to be honest. If I had to fill a 53-man roster, I'd be like, be like,
well, the bottom of the barrel. Then
Nightwing is small. He's undersized.
I wish I could have fit somebody like
Damien's small and undersized. Dick Grayson could be a good tight end, but he doesn't have any powers.
Yeah, he'd get lit up by the defense.
Yeah, it's like he's just a regular human. So like I could see Harley Quinn playing corner. I could see that, but I against a receiver like Supergirl or Green Lantern, she's a human, so that doesn't work. I mean, I got Martian Manhunter at corner right now, so it's like, what receiver as a human could? So you have to have exclusively superpowers, and you got to be careful there because if you get Firestorm, you burn up the whole field. You got to be
Yeah,
careful. You got to make it safe. You know, Starfire could burn up the whole field as well.
right.
That could get a little dicey.
I'm sure a lot of these tackles are going to end up breaking the field when they knock somebody down.
Well, I'm a little worried about Superman falling to the ground a little too hard. Can you
Yeah.
imagine the dents in that field? I
Even
mean,
Barry or Wally running, I mean, it can tear up the grass, right? I mean, if they run that fast,
yeah. I mean, they do have the speedster suits to prevent their shoes from burning.
right?
That does help. That does help a little bit. Gosh, yeah. This
Nice.
week of Elseworlds DC podcast is brought to you by the beginning of football. The fact that we have nothing planned.
Well, I did something similar to this with Marvel, so people might recall this, but I did me and my friend Jack picked soccer players out of Marvel heroes and Marvel villains, and we each picked 11, and I made little logos for them and stuff too. But that was a lot of fun. In soccer, you only have 11 players, so for this one, I was like, man, I want to do 22. So we ended up picking less defenders, but no, I think it's fun to and think about that stuff, and even though it never happened, just the logistics of how would you work this? How would this happen?
So my confession is that I didn't plan the defense all that well because you're like starting 11s is what I went with all week. So I had that planned out a long time ago. And then I wrote down my list, but then I didn't bring my list to the table when I came in. So I was like, some of them were probably shuffled a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But the true art of a good podcast is that the podcasters didn't think that hard about the podcast. I'm convinced of it because I think it makes it a little looser, a little more fun, a little less stiff. So wanted to have a little bit of an improv feel to this. So didn't want it to be too thought out.
Yeah, yeah.
And but the defense, I could have brought more to the table defensively because I had spent all week thinking about just the 11 on offense.
All right. Well, before we wrap it up, anything else DC related you've done this week, or anything that you want to talk about?
I watched The Flash on Max not that long ago,
Oh
and
yeah.
it hits me every time. I think that movie hits me every time, and I hope that it has the second legs. I think we're seeing it in streaming. I think it's a more popular movie now that it's available on home than people would like to say it is because of the box office. I been catching up on Justice League Unlimited a little bit. I haven't done a full rewatch of that in a while. I just finished the first season on my rewatch of that, and I'm going to start season two as soon as I'm done watching Andor for Star Wars, and then I'll get back to another Star Wars show after season two of Justice League Unlimited. You shuffle that nerdy stuff up.
Yep.
I'm trying to catch up on Star Wars for you and Ron so we can have more insightful conversations and honestly, just because I'm enjoying it. And let's see, anything else DC? I haven't been reading a lot of comics lately because I've been doing some homework.
Right.
I've been working a lot, and to be honest with you, at the end of the day is when I usually out like read in bed, and I hit the pillow and I'm like, good night.
Yeah, I've bought lately. I got the great deluxe edition of Brave and the Bold with Green Lantern and Flash.
Yeah, I saw that on
It,
X or Twitter or whatever. It looked
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. So I've been reading like an issue of that a night. So I've read like the first two, and then it happened to be that I'm reading, New 52 as well. So what I've kind of been juggling those, and
Nice.
right after there was like issue 22 or 20 something. Anyway, after one of those issues of Flash New 52, it was the annual, the Flash annual number 2, and it was a long, like, I don't know, 40-page issue that was mostly a story of Green Lantern and Flash teaming up. So I was like, what are the odds, right? So I read that. That one was really great, and then I'm kind of back into the main New 52 run as I'm getting into like the Reverse Flash storyline in New 52. So
That's
that's
where
where
it
I'm
gets
kind of
really
at right
good.
now.
That's really gets really good. There was a time in the New 52 Flash run where they brought in Future Flash, and he comes back and he's like, "Oh yes, I'm so with Patty. This is great." And he was kind of creepy and kind of an asshole. And I thought that brought it down, but then he gets into that Reverse Flash stuff, and it's really, really good. So I love the New 52 Flash. I think it took a little bit of a divot right before that, and then it just kind of ends on like, holy crap, this is good. And then you go into Rebirth and you got the Godspeed August Hart story.
Yeah.
It's just such a good run with Flash. Very good comics, very consistent. I need to get back into that. I think maybe I'll get back into Flash Rebirth and finish that because I had gotten pretty far. I got to volume 8 of Flash Rebirth. I need to get in that. Maybe I'll do that, read an issue or two a night thing, if I can get back to that, because I do feel better when I have it as a habit. I fall out of it as a habit, and then I have to get back into it.
Yeah, it was kind of I read like the first like 8 issues and then kind of took a long break. So it's kind of like trying to remember everything that happened. I'm up to like issue 23, 24 now, and then out of 50 somethings, I'm doing pretty okay. And then um, I've been kind of going in order since we started reading Rebirth.
Nice.
The story Rebirth, not the
Yeah,
DC Rebirth. Um, we talked about Rebirth, then I read the lead up to Flashpoint. Then I read all of Flashpoint, and then I started with New 52 Flash. So,
that's how I started getting into Flash. So that's really cool. I didn't mean to cut you
and
off.
that's kind of what I want to do too, because I own a lot of the Rebirth Flash. So once I'm done New 52, I can start reading, some of those books. I'm trying to buy Volume 12 right now, but it is for some reason the one that goes for about $100 for some reason, and $60 if it's used. So
Damn.
it's very expensive. Randomly released 2 years ago, but I guess they didn't print enough copies. It's out of print. And then I can get the volumes after that for a decent price, and I can get the volumes before that for a decent price. It's just this one volume that I can't. So that might be some Christmas money or something that I am gonna spend at some point and just bite the bullet to get that volume. It's
I
like
heard
called
that.
Death of the Speed Force or something. So I don't know if that's why it's selling so much. Or
I'll
what
be
I've
honest.
heard when I went to my comic book store and I asked, I'm like, why would this one issue, like this one be so? And she said it's a lot of times they print a lot of the first volumes a lot because usually people start at 1 and try to read, but they don't usually make it all the way to 12, right? So they may print less, like a volume like 12.
That makes sense,
Um,
I guess. But
yeah, and they usually don't
I,
reprint them, which sucks.
for the Flash, I want to have all the trade paperbacks. I want to do trade paperbacks are basically now just Batman and Flash. For the most part, I will do DC Universe Infinite for
Mine's
anything
Superman and
else.
Flash, yeah.
Yeah, so I will read digitally for the other ones, Batman and Flash, because I have such a large collection of it. I want to keep it going. I have a really large collection of both. I want to keep it going. I will tell you that the New 52 Flash Run is probably my favorite overall story in comics. I just think it's awesome. I think New 52 gets a lot of crap, but Batman and Flash were not the problems of the New 52, in my opinion. I do think their New 52 Flash did take a little bit of a dip, but New 52 Flash is pretty good.
Yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. I guess it's just always like New 52 is so out there because of the ambiguity of it all. And what I mean by that is it was kind of like a restart completely, not
Hmm.
just like a new numbering, it was like a whole restart. And it's hard to tell like what has actually happened, right? And what hasn't. So like
Hmm.
when you have Flashpoint lead up to this and then a new universe starts and then he doesn't really acknowledge Flashpoint as being a thing, you're kind of like, oh, right? Like it's just like a whole new for him and a whole new, that's where I think it kind of probably rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because they felt like the history of the characters that they had were gone. I think it's maybe been rectified a bit by having Rebirth kind of bring all of it back. So um, I'm just kind of enjoying it as its own thing and not, I've stopped trying to think about how it fits into the whole canon of the characters and stuff. And just because I know what, like, fully read it, but New 52 Superman is a different character than Rebirth Superman. And at some point they have to, like, there's this whole one of them getting out and stuff like that. So
So they made they made some interesting decisions with New 52 Superman, and it prevented me from reading much of it because
that's what I
I
hear.
was I was like, I just because I got to be honest with you, Superman and Lois sparked my love of Superman a lot more than anything else beforehand. So I hadn't read a ton of Superman before Superman and Lois, and then I started reading a lot more because I was like, man, I really like this. I was back in the day a real big Batman guy. My younger self thought Superman was a little boring. I think I understand the character a lot more as I've gotten older and appreciated him a lot more as I get a little. So now I find I open a Superman comic and I'm in heaven. It's great. It's some of the best storytelling DC does. But for a long time, especially when I was getting into comics and uh, you know, I was reading a lot of New 52 stuff. Superman just kind of seemed stale and his run was not popular in the New 52. So, maybe I'll go back and read the New 52, but I'm more interested in reading Rebirth and what I've read of the Dawn of DC Superman. I've really enjoyed. I've really enjoyed. I probably am gonna get when all that stuff comes out in trades. I'm gonna start collecting the trades of that because that's some really good art and some really good storytelling. I think Flash is the one that always just connected with me with the comics. I went back and read some of the Wally West comics with the Jeff Johns run, and I was amazed at how much that connected with me too, because I was like, "Oh, I'm a Barry Allen guy," but I'll tell you, Wally West has some fun comics. There are some things that he does, and there's this one story I just read recently where Mirror Master sucks him and Captain Cold into a ring, basically as this and he has to work with Captain Cold. It's very interesting. But yeah, that was the Wally West, Jeff Johns run, stuff like that. So there's a lot of good storytelling there.
Yeah, I've really liked Wally. Like we said before, like through the cartoon stuff, but having Wally, that's another reason why people don't like New 52 Flash though too, is it kind of got rid of Wally. But having Wally be the main Flash right now is pretty awesome. Like the Adams run that just ended was really good for Wally West Flash, and the new run that is starting next week, I believe it's next week, maybe 2 weeks, is Flash number 1, but it's Legacy number 801, and it is starring Wally West again. And I know Gail Simone read like an advanced copy of it. She said it's a very good issue. So I already have it set aside. I'm getting that issue when it comes out. My comic shop will have it ready for me. I'm really excited to see
Nice. I
what
might
this
have to
new.
dive into that myself.
era is. And what I'll try to do too is I know I used to have a lot of reviews for the comics and stuff when I was reading them when I had more time. But I'm really going to try to get a review for that issue up as soon as I get it, and put it up on the blog, which the link is in the show notes.
Yeah, I could probably do some blog posts if you wanted.
If you come up with any blog posts, I can you can send it to me. I won't even edit them for you.
No, you won't have to. I'll give you clean copy. I'll give you clean copy.
I'll put them up. It's because I do want to get that more off the ground, but I just haven't I
got you. I can help you with that. I'll give you a clean copy. I'm a high school English teacher in training. I'm going to be, and I've been blogging since 2012, 2011, something like that. So
nice.
Usually do the football thing. That's why this episode was fun for me, because it was like, this is really my wheelhouse, especially because I really love player personnel stuff. So, anyone who knows me, my other side of my passions, football, knows that I'm into the draft. I'm into player personnel. I'm into the big board, and I didn't want to. I kind of wanted to make some of my football knowledge come off as funny here, because I thought it was a fun setting.
Yeah.
It's like you take this too seriously, you kind of break it. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we're about to talk Ahsoka on the Pod Awakens with Ron. So you guys can also check that out. I just did a little bit of the host work for you. That just came in my mind, and I just kind of go.
Any thoughts for next year? We have some comics we could talk about. Some.
Hey, have you read Harleen?
I have not.
Okay, so that one is one of my favorites. We could talk that.
Is it just called Harleen?
Yeah, it's just called Harleen.
A
yeah, it's like 5 or 6 issues.
Yeah, I can read that.
Because I've been thinking I need to reread that anyway. One of my favorites of all time. But we could also do like a classic Batman story or Flash story that we really like. We could do comic recommendations in general.
Mm-hmm.
That could be fun. And maybe we could have someone in the audience say, "Hey, this is what I want you to talk about." That would be great. That would really be helpful.
Even if it's not in time for next week, we will be able to.
Yeah, look. Do you guys know what's coming down the horizon? It's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
That's it.
It's
the strikes.
Yeah, and you know what?
Whenever Creature Commandos come out, and
which apparently is immune to the strikes because of animation.
Yeah, some animation is not struck. So yeah, that one was considered not struck.
My question though goes into, how does it not affect the Writers Guild of America? Maybe because it was already written.
It was already written. Yeah.
Okay, because I know James Gunn is very much a part of the WGA.
Yeah, he said that he'd written them all before the strikes had even ended. He had already talked about how they were done, and he was looking for the cast. So
nice.
Yeah.
With the time we got castings, that makes a lot of sense. Hopefully the strike ends soon, because the Batman Part 2 is supposed to start filming soon.
It's not happening.
I know.
This is already the longest WGA strike since the 2008 one didn't even last this long.
Well, they don't want to give any residuals. That's really the big problem. Streaming changed the game.
All greedy.
Well, the studios are trying to act like the streaming things are hard to define. They can't give you the numbers. And really it is, they just don't want to give you the numbers. It's basically like a certain former president of ours who doesn't want to give us any of his taxes because he doesn't want the truth to come out there, even though the truth is so goddamn obvious the entire freaking planet can see it. But hey, I digress. It's something, these billionaires tend to get the same thing wrong. It's amazing.
Yep. So I will let's do comic recommendations.
Nice. I like that.
And then let's try to come up with five recommendations.
5 recommendations. I like
stuff
it.
we haven't talked about on here yet. Haven't already done episodes on.
Right. So it's not like, hey, everybody should read The Long Halloween.
Right.
Because duh.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
let's try to come up with
5 comics, 5 recommendations you may not have read.
What was that?
5 recommendations you may have not read.
Yes.
So instead of doing All-Star Superman, Long Halloween, maybe dig in there a little bit.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
Alrighty, so we'll do comic recommendations for next week. This was our 50th episode, by the way, episode 50 of Elseworlds today. Thank you all for watching and listening. You can follow us at Elseworlds DC Fan on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can click the link below as well, like I said, for our blog if you want to follow. It's in the link tree as well, but the blog link is here as well for you to click that, read some reviews that I've written for comics, and whatever else we decide to write about. But thank you all for watching and listening. We will catch you next time